Okay, so as you know, we use an ERSA Icon 2 as one of the two soldering stations. The other one is that new Weller that we bought recently. Now, one of the things I use is these ERSA chip tool heated tweezers, but the last few years I've noticed the longevity of these tips, for that the whole thing here has got less and less, to the point where the tips here are about 3 months old and they're completely knackered already, well, especially this one nearer the camera. And the issue is these are 80 quid a pair, and I'm just sick to death of forking out that level of money. Especially now, it's, you know, they're only lasting 3 months. Normally I would get around 9 months out of a pair of tips, and I don't even mind 6 months if things are busier, as they are, especially this last year or so. But 2 or 3 months, no, not acceptable. So I've had a look around for another soldering station with tweezers. Now, we've already gone down the Duratool route, and you saw the results of that garbage a couple of months ago. So we've gone for something from Farnell, which is a Multicomp solder station with tweezers, and I noticed that the replacement tweezers are £28, and that appeared to include the tips and the heating cartridge. So that's what we're going to have a quick look at today, if I can get it out of the box. There we go. Now, I'd never heard of them, and I would normally have said, well, Farnell wouldn't be stocking rubbish, but of course Farnell and CPC and all the others stock the Duratool, what were they? Duratool tweezers, and I showed you how dreadful they are. So I'm hoping this is better. I think it was about 450. I'll put all the links up. So we've got one box, now we've got another box in a box. Right, last box hopefully. As I say, I have no idea of the quality, how long things will last, but replacement tips and element at 28 quid. This is a damn sight better than 80 something. Okay, so first off we have the correct UK mains cable. We have, what's interesting, what are we going to be using that for? We have the tweezers. We'll get all this out first and then we'll have a closer look. We've got an iron with a fine tip. We've got another mains cable for Europe. It's all pretty well packed, as you'd expect. We've got a really heavy metal and possibly plastic stand. Let me just bring this down at a different level, that might be better. Another stand. Again, I think it's plastic and metal, it's certainly heavy. And then we've got the main units. Tell you what, let's start with the main unit first. It's all on camera. Haven't done any videos for absolutely ages. Just been too busy. Actually, I might sit down with this. Okay, so well, that is a nice looking unit. 1, 2, looks like we've got 3 presets, up and down, menu and enter. There's a plastic protector over the front. On this side we've just got the Multicomp Pro. We have, feels like metal, I think it's a metal heatsink, on off. We've got so that's saying it's an earth point. Okay, RJ45, a blank, and the IEC port. So, and then the other side exactly the same. Let's grab one of these stands. Oh, that is very nice. Metal. Yeah, I think it's all metal actually. Very heavy, very nice indeed. The mains cable for the UK. Okay, the other stand. Two different ones, tweezer slot, soldering iron hole. So dedicated for each tool, which is nice. Okay, so now the important thing is these tweezers. So let's get these open. I'm really hoping they're going to be able to do the job. Okay, so we've clearly got a silicon cable, multiple pin connection. Does it matter which ones they go into? Probably. I'm going to assume the tweezers are on the right because that is where the picture shows them. Cable is quite a good length. Are these keyed differently? Let's have a look. No. So it looks like they will go in either way, and very much like the ERSA, that just locks in place. Okay, Multicomp Pro. So you can see that they've got that on an angle. You'd think that they wouldn't do that. Let me just show you the tips touching. Now, I don't know whether they will turn on there. I hope they don't. I don't want them to. Looks. Yeah, I don't know how we get that off. Probably unscrewing from here. It's very light. If they actually work, and then that will be great. And like I say, 28 quid. Oh, that slots in there very nicely. Cleaning pad and slip it in. Now, fortunately for me, the ERSA Icon 2 station just on its own is worth a fair bit of money, so I suspect if this all works out okay, I'm going to sell it just to recoup some of the money. Now again, very nice silicon lead. This green part here is a very nice soft silicon. I like that. That feels very nice. Now this fine tip is what I've been using. I mean, I've been using a finer tip than this actually on the ERSA to go with the tweezers for the work I'm doing. Not clear how that comes out. I'm sure it'll be in the instructions, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Again, nice secure fitting, and again keyed, and just twist that lock nut slightly. Okay, let's have a look at the instructions for this. There's two versions. There is the single version and then this twin version. And this is a standard stereo 3.5mm socket, and they are suggesting that that is for earthing purposes, and an earth wire can be attached to this, so you can earth out whatever you're working on, I guess, and then it plugs into the back of the unit. Clearly marked earth and slots in nicely. RJ45, don't know what that's for, possibly updating. Okay, so let's have a look. So the models we've got are the MP740068 and the MP740069, the dual and single. Yeah, nothing too interested. First time use, it may smoke for a few minutes. Yep. Okay. Channel 1, we've got power bar. Channel 2 power bar, temperature. Actually 3 is, where are we? 3 is the actual temperature, and just below that is the set temperature, which looks like you can actually lock, so you can set it to whatever you want and then lock it. Soldering tool identification, so that is good. That is item 11, yeah, soldering tool model identification of channel 1 and channel 2, so it will tell you what you've got plugged in. Set temperature, yeah, actual tip temperature, yeah, so all good standard stuff that we have got on the ERSA. Actually, do we have that on the ERSA? Thinking we have. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we've got set temperature and tip temperature. Now I don't know whether this has got any movement sensitive capabilities where it will stay on standby until you actually lift the iron out. I'm suspecting not at this price range. Just reading through. Actually, let's fire this up whilst we're having a look at that so you can see what's going on. So it's plugged in, and we'll just fire that up. Multicomp version number, and away it goes. Now, strangely, it's not recognised that these are tweezers. It's saying they're both exactly the same thing. So that is interesting. So we can set that for 200, 300, 400. I'll pop it down to 300 at the moment. So why is it not recognising that as the MP740073? That is what the tweezers are. Possibly you have to enter that yourself in the menu. Now I don't know whether you can see this very clearly or not with the lights in here. There we go, perhaps it looks better now. So let's just go into the menu and see if we can change that. That just switches between the two. So if I want to set channel 1 to 200, I can do that. It's set, and now it's going to drop. And if we want to switch over to channel 2 and drop that to 200, well, you can do that. So a quick press is just switching between the two. A long press, that goes into there. Okay, I don't know what that's done. We can change the temperature manually there. Better read the manual, I think. Got a massive fan of bleeping. There's no mention of the tweezers needing to be selected, but we've clearly thinks we've got two things the same at the moment. Right, press and hold until loading function is finished. Okay, oh, until loading function is finished. You've got to hold it right up to 100%. There we go. And now we've got languages, degrees or Fahrenheit. We've got a password. We can turn that stupid keyboard tone off. So we'll turn that off there. LCD contrast, mode, normal. Net. Oh, okay. You can plug this into a. Interesting. You can use a LAN cable, can you? I don't know why. Oh god, now it's exited. Well, that is a bit of a pain. I'll exit when I need to, not when you decide. Interesting. So we cannot change the tool. So why doesn't it recognise it's got that tool in it? Let's go down to factory defaults and we'll say yes. Yeah, definitely doesn't recognise that tool as being the tweezers that it is. So let's turn that off. Let's unplug this one and turn it back on again, see if that makes any difference. Nope. Notice in Chinese there there's obviously nothing connected. As we've selected English, you would expect that to be in English. Yeah, that is a bit odd. Not that it's a major problem, but if it says it recognises the thing connected, you would think it would actually do that. No, well, I guess it's not going to do that. So now we need a board. Oh, let's grab one. Right, so what we're going to do is, one of the most common things I do is take off these resistors here. We're going to see if it can actually do that. Yep. Whether you can see this or not. I'm just going in at the side. Yep, so that's fine. Let's see about replacing it as well. I wonder if I can go in more easily from the top. yeah, so by the time I've got some solder on there, and that will just drop down. So yeah, that looks absolutely fine. Can I take off this way round as well? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so looks like it's going to do the job. A hell of a lot cheaper than the this bloody workshop lighting. Hell of a lot cheaper than with the Icon 2. So as I say, this was just a first look at that, and yeah, seems fine. Just don't know why it doesn't recognise the tool that's been put in there. There's no way of adjusting it. You're just selecting channels there. Anyway, yeah, so there we go. That seems absolutely fine. We'll get that ERSA out of the way and put this to use, see if we can get on okay with it. Okay, and just this new soldering iron in action. We have some absolutely tiny components. I don't even think that, oh, it will focus. Absolutely tiny. I couldn't take those off with the ERSA tweezers that I had because they were just a little bit too chunky. So we are just going to grab them, and I was trying to film this and I can see where the tweezers come into the screen. Yeah, this isn't going to be pretty with one hand on the camera, but straight in there and off. There we go. And back on if we wanted to. But these are, you know, absolutely tiny components. If I bring that down, if it will come off, yeah, I mean, absolutely tiny. They don't get any smaller than that. Let me just spin this board around a little bit. There we go. We'll just take some more off. If I can get the camera on there. So there we go. That's off. Back on again if we were so inclined. So absolutely fine. These tweezers can handle the smallest of components, which is really good. Just going back to the thing on the front, I think that's telling us what the soldering station is each side, rather than what tool has been fitted. Don't really see the point of showing that information, but I will read the manual again, but I don't think it is supposed to tell you what tool is connected. It's just telling you what the soldering station is, but even that's not right. I don't think that's the number for this dual station. Maybe it's comprised of two 740069s, you know, one each side. So let's just get into here again. Sorry if there's reflections. So hard to do with the camera in one hand and watching the screen and trying to do the tweezers. But you can see how easy that is. So yeah, perfect. I suppose it's possible you could turn them around that way and maybe lift off a chip or two. Let's see if we can do anything. Actually, probably not, because they're at a funny angle. Just can't get that one at the bottom there. But you get the idea. If they were more straight, you could lift off chips with this as well. Well, there you go. Did manage to get that off without any damage. So yeah, interesting. doesn't look like there's any sort of standby mode, they just stay at that temperature. Again, for that price range, you know, that's fine. Not hearing any noise off of it. My ERSA Icon 2 often used to make little clicking noises. Never worked out why, but it did it for years, still does it occasionally. So I think that is probably a good replacement. So we've got that fine point. Might see if I can get some finer points than that one. And then we use the full power large tip on the Weller. So yeah, all good. Do not like the button at the back, that is a pain. I would have much preferred the button to be on the front, but yeah, you can't have everything.